colleges, and now I support a president who's brought African-American unemployment to the lowest point since we began tracking it, the lowest point in American history. Now, in my opinion, we face the greatest danger and the greatest fight. Because if you look at what has transpired in the first year of the Trump presidency, imagine what is possible in the next 3 years. Those who say Trump is starting a trade war don't understand we've been in a trade war for the last 8 years, and we've been getting our ass kicked. And now it's time to use the same tactics that are being used on us, on our trading partners. No more global one-stop trade deals, one size fits all. The deals that the Clintons and the Bushes promised would be the panacea, which destroyed the economy in rural and urban America. No, Donald Trump is committed to fair, free trade, mutually beneficial trade deals on a country-by-country basis where we both benefit. With the historic decision by the United Kingdom, by Britain, to withdraw from the European Union, there's a golden opportunity for a new trade relationship with the Brits. There's an opportunity for a new and beneficial trade relationship with the Chinese. There are unbound opportunities by a president who has the guts and the courage to make a deal. That man is Donald J. Trump. Let me make clear that the 2016 election was only winnable because of an important technological advance. You see, 2016 was the year in which the mainstream media, the 3 television networks and then the 2 cable news networks, lost their monopoly control on the political discourse in this country. It is the rise of the internet and the fact that a majority of Americans are now getting their political news through the net, whether it is a handheld phone, a PC, or an iPad. A majority of Americans realize that when you go through the internet, even if it's going through the internet to watch TV, that there are better choices than CNN. Say, for example, InfoWars, where we would be live right now if there were internet in this room. So what's happened? The rise of a vibrant, robust alternative media, the rise of social media, Twitter, Facebook, and so on, is what allowed for the election of an outsider candidate who the mainstream media sought to destroy. What we saw was very interesting. The cable news networks built Donald Trump up in the nomination phase. His opponents, a guy named Marco Rubio, you may have heard of, and others, good man, and others complained that he was getting more coverage. Well, I'll tell you the reason. Because Donald Trump is a man who is working without a net. Because Donald Trump was interesting. Because Donald Trump was bold. Because he would say what was on his mind. And he wasn't playing it safe. Because you see, politics is show business for ugly people. Politics, as I learned from Richard Nixon, is about being interesting. When you bore the voters go elsewhere looking for something that interests them. Donald Trump engaged and provoked the American people. But once nominated, they reversed the process. Now the networks and the cable news network, particularly CNN, sought out to destroy his candidacy. Impossible because of alternative media. So now what's happening is the tech left, Google, Facebook, Twitter, Yahoo, Amazon, and others, the big boys in Silicon Valley, hope to put the toothpaste back in the tube. in a relentless war of censorship. They are using the Communications Decency Act of Congress, which was written to police pornography on the internet and now being perverted to silence conservative, pro-liberty, and pro-Republican and pro-Trump voices. This cannot be allowed. Some of you may have followed the debate over internet neutrality, and I will admit it's extremely confusing because the tech left has seized our rhetoric and they misrepresent themselves. Essentially, the internet rules that were fostered under Barack Obama only guarantee internet neutrality for the carriers, Comcast, AT&T, Verizon. This does not speak whatsoever to the content carriers. Now, under the new rules under Donald Trump, content will also be policed for equal access. This is the key. We are going to fight this out because even as we speak here today, Facebook pages representing millions of followers who support Donald Trump are being decapitated without reason and without explanation. Tonight on Twitter, postings by Donald Trump Jr. are being censored. Postings by the Drudge Report are being censored. Postings by the Daily Caller are being censored. Postings by InfoWars and Alex Jones are being censored. Either we have a First Amendment or we do not. Now, how can we address this? Well, first of all, everyone in this room is an army of one. If you are not on Facebook, get on Facebook. If you are not on Twitter, get on Twitter. Don't look for me, because you won't find me. I've been banned for life. Why, you may ask? Because I had 450,000 Twitter followers at the time that I was banned. Well, their rules are kind of vague. Evidently, Keith Olbermann can threaten to assassinate the President of the United States, and that's perfectly all right, but let me warn you, don't hurt Jake Tapper's feelings, or you will be banned for life. This is going to be fought out in the courts because there are First Amendment issues, there are monopoly issues, there are antitrust issues, there are service contract issues. Pardon me. I paid Twitter to promote my feed. They're in violation of their agreement with me. This is a complicated litigation, but it is a litigation, my friends, that is most definitely coming. When you see a link that you like, when you learn something about the vast corruption of the Obama campaign to elect Hillary Clinton and put her over the top through the surveillance of the Republican candidate for president, or any other issue where you learn something, post it to your friends, post it to your network, be an army of one. They may be able to silence me, but they cannot silence all of you. Now, after the event tonight, I'm going to be more than happy to sign copies of my book, The Making of the President 2016, How Donald Trump Orchestrated an American Revolution. Yes, I'll be happy to pose for selfies with you or photos. It will be my pleasure. But I want you all to commit to put them on Twitter with the hashtag, Where's Roger? Question mark. Now, some of you may have heard that I have a tattoo on my back of one Richard Nixon. And it's true. It's kind of like a floating head about the size of a grapefruit, and it's equidistant between my shoulders, making me the only person you know with a dick on the front and the back. Now, I put it strategically because I wanted to preserve the option, when I get old, which is no time soon, of adding Ronald Reagan, Barry Goldwater, and Bill Buckley for a full Mount Rushmore, and then adding Donald J. Trump, a conservative Mount Rushmore. But the truth is, yes, it reflects my reverence for Richard Nixon, a man who was both very great and very flawed, a man who reached the strategic arms limitation with the Soviets, a man who opened the door to China, a man who ended the Vietnam War, started by John F. Kennedy and escalated by Lyndon Baines Johnson, a man who launched the war on cancer, a man who desegregated the American public schools without violence or bloodshed, a man who saved the state of Israel unilaterally in the 1973 Yom Kippur War. But yes, a man who started the ignominious, failed, racist war on drugs, a man who gave us wage and price controls, a man who, unfortunately, closed the gold window and took us off the gold standard. A man of great accomplishments and a man of some mistakes, like all Americans, like all presidents. But the decision to have Richard Nixon tattooed on my back is really not a political statement. It's a daily reminder that in life, when things don't go your way, when you are knocked down, when you suffer defeats, when you are expecting to win and you lose, when you are disappointed and dejected, well, that's the time to get up off the canvas and get back in the game. It was Richard Nixon who said, "A man is not finished when he is defeated. A man is only finished when he quits." Well, ladies and gentlemen, like Donald J. Trump, I will never quit. Thank you very much.